I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got it. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough time. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping.
Yeah. All right, was that a little too much? Just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. We are definitely back in the building. Right now, as you can see, one of our cohorts is not on the show, but he will be on soon. Don't even stress it. So I do want to wait for him to get on to give y'all our normal introduction. But as you can see right now, we got Stryker Dragoon, QS, and myself, K Marvel, in the building. Thank you guys for joining us. We are three of your four corners of commentary, and it's our 4-year celebration. The crowd goes wild. It's crazy.
No applause button.
No, huh?
No applause button.
What applause button?
I said we don't have an applause button.
Oh, yeah, nah. My soundboard isn't attached, so
gotcha.
That one's gonna have to wait. But yeah, man, it's been 4 years, guys. We celebrated the anniversary, or I should say, the anniversary was on Juneteenth. So we definitely had our post up, which was pretty cool. All the love is much appreciated. 4 years is a very long time. And you know, if you're newer to the pod and you don't know the story, to make a long story less long, I've been wanting to do a podcast since I was in high school. Essentially, they weren't called podcasts at that point, but Troy and Christian, which is Stryker and Stretch, I've known because we worked together. Excuse me. And then QS after that. And it was just kind of like, hey, we know you want to do it. And literally in 2 weeks, we put out our first episode. So we've come a really long way. We've had a lot of special moments. We've had some really cool guests that we are eternally grateful for. Like I said, we've had some very unique experiences due to having this pod. So first and foremost, we want to say thank you to everybody who's rocked with us. Especially the day ones. We really appreciate y'all so much. Gentlemen, what's going on? How you feeling? 4 years.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you to go. Like,
I mean, ain't much to say. It's 4 years. We've been here. You know, we've gone through every year, and we've elevated to some sense. You know, to a higher level. So it's just put the pedal to the metal, put foot to the gas, and just keep elevating. That's what I could say for a start, for an intro.
I mean, for most parts, the thing, how I look at it, yeah, it's 4 years. 4 years came a long way. Again, to Stryker and to K Marvel's point, was this really happened during COVID. Everybody was in the house. There was things that we had already had the Council of Commentary as as a wrestling group, as a wrestling group page. We had it booming for a couple of years. We used to do the whole Yeah, we did our own, like, even came up with our own fantasy wrestling league. Like we did all those things. We just coming up doing that, and I think it became the perfect time. Stryker, he did approach me. He approached me with it. He said, "Hey, like I said, Stryker and I, we've known each other best friends. We've been best friends for almost damn near 15 years. So it's at this point, it was just most like he just asked. He was just like, "Oh, you want to do it?" And it was just like, "Okay, cool." We had came up with the name, the Four Corners. We just didn't, and then it was at the time, I did know Stretch, didn't know Stretch, met Stretch through the
Council page. Yeah.
council page, through the council page, and it was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, obviously, like, been around. It was about Stretch for quite some times, and then he ended up being like a brother to me. And then it was just at that time, that's when Stryker and Stretch, they came to me and they said, why not K Marvel? And as Kyle, as you know him as Kyle, I don't know if you remember this, but the only time we had met before was your baby shower. It was at your baby shower celebration. Yeah.
No, we met twice.
No,
we met once at the BBQs across the street of that birthday party.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So that was one, and then you came to the baby shower.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, yeah, cool. No, I didn't have a problem with it. So it's like I didn't have a problem with that. So it was like, all right, cool. It made sense. It made sense.
Right.
I mean, obviously, as y'all already know, like I know, like, me as a person, I'm not for everybody. Not for everyone. I'm just not. I'm not for everyone. So it was like, so it's like Stryker always has to, like, be mindful of, like, who I guess it's like, because I know y'all all work together over there at Toys R Us. He has to also just be mindful of who to bring around me. Because again, as it was always a lot of back and forths. Obviously, in the council group, it was a lot of back and forth. It was a lot, it was little petty dramas here and there. And there's certain people I knew, like, all right, I told him initially, like, yo, don't bring these people around me. And he had to be mindful. He asked me, just like, yo, K Marvel, what do you think? And I was all on board with it. So I said, why not? Let's do it. And like I said, we've been here. Y'all been rocking with us when we were in the studios. Y'all been rocking with us when we've gone to wrestling shows. Y'all been rocking with us when we've even been at wrestling conventions, when we were over there going to Comic-Cons and everything. So by the way, I know tickets have dropped for Comic-Con. Are dropping for Comic-Con. I'm
going Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, you're going Saturday and Sunday? Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to go Thursday. I wanted to go Thursday and Friday, obviously, but I understand that. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I would say, again, thank you everybody that has rocked with us, who still tries to rock with us, deal with us, over the years. It comes and goes. It's a work in progress. We just got to keep on keeping on, keep on pressing. Try to make this, I don't want to say a safe space, but as comfortable for everybody as possible. Like I said, we trying to really just get something. We trying to really, like, we still are trying to figure out where to go. What's the next thing? Because that's really the next thing for us. It's like, this is 4 years, our 4-year anniversary. But now if it's going into year 5, we got to figure out, like, all right, well, what's something next that we could do? So I would say just be on the lookout. We are still brainstorming on trying to figure out, like, what to do next. Yeah. But other than that, thank y'all. That's all I really have.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's always growth, right? Even with this year, I think there was a lot of growth. We know it was really sporadic this season, just because of the way life works out. Which, look, it is what it is, right?
Life be lifing. You can't.
Word, all the time.
You have to just accept that. Like, it's just life. Life happens. There's nothing to go
all the time.
You can't escape it. You can't really. You try your best not to dwell too much on it.
Right.
There's always, and if everything, if life, if it goes, it's gonna go up, and sometimes if it goes bad, or if it goes, it becomes chaotic. You have to always try to always turn to that. Some of those Bible scriptures. This the main one, always lean not on your own understanding. So it's not, you can't really dwell too much on the bad. Don't try to dwell on the bad and stay in that funk of the bad. You just gotta just be like, all right, well, it's life. It happens. It could have. There's many things that we could have wanted to have it work for better, but life happens. So, but we're still here. We still push through. We still make it, and that's all we can.
Yeah, man. Well, look. With all of that being said, like I said, this season has brought some things.
Yeah.
I want to go back to our interview with Alex Kane. Man, that was so much fun, and for us to have him as world heavyweight champion for MLW at the time to grace our screens, I couldn't have been more grateful, and I know you guys would say the same. What's some of the things from that interview that you guys remember specifically? I mean, just for you in general.
I mean, I'll start off with Alex Kane. It's interesting to speak on, how much how the reverence or the camaraderie that he has, with O'Shea, with not even with O'Shea, his entire group on trying to bring everybody into his faction, to bring everybody into that aspect, what he's looking for, who he's looking for. It's dope to see that. It was also dope to not only that, I was just happy and glad that we were able to we didn't ask him like the generic questions. We just really wanted to make him feel as comfortable as ever. And now, like I said, that's what I always want to go for when it's interviewing these wrestlers. I don't want to give or ask the same. We don't want to keep sitting here asking them the same generic questions like, oh, who's your favorite wrestler? Who do you want to wrestle? Who do you want to go?
Right.
Who's your dream match? Like, they heard that one too many times. It's like, I would rather that style. I always say the style of interview I would want to implement for us is like, it's just a conversation. We're just talking. We're just shooting the shit. Because when you shoot the shit, eventually, and they feel the energy and they feel like, oh yeah, this isn't like fake, or it's not like you trying to like fish for something. It's just like, oh, like we could just talk to you like you just met, like you just like an old friend. Like that's the type of aura vibe I would want us to like keep on giving off. But I think that was one of my favorite aspects of that Alex Kane interview. It just felt like we were talking to an old friend.
Right. And excuse me, the interest, right? I think learning just who he is as a man, as a person, and him being widely regarded, excuse me, as the second openly gay but the first openly bisexual world champion, means a lot. And just the representation in that, and him being a black man, and him being a black man from the South, so, shout out to Alex. That's my guy right there. Actually, he will be coming up, plug for Jobber Slam, facing Yaya for the franchise championship. I believe that is August 24th. Either August 24th or August 26th, one of the two. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I'm really excited about that match. That match is gonna slap. Also, I just want to get to some of the comments real quick. Shout out to the Mrs. Tiff. What's up, love? And shout out to our boy, my friend, your friend, everybody's friend, the man who's 12'12", Jermaine Every. What's going on, Jay? Hope everything is well. And thanks, love. August 24th is Jobber Slam. So definitely be ready for that. You can Google Jobber Slam 4, and the very first link is to brown paper bag tickets or brown paper tickets, something like that, to buy your tickets for Jobber Slam. So definitely go ahead and do that. It's always a movie. It's always a movie when it's Jobber Slam time. Strike, you there? You just blacked out. I'm assuming he's just blacked out.
Nah, he's there. I think he's there. Like,
what is happening right now? But yeah, folks. So definitely, what's one of the other things about this show in general that you guys really love about it, just as a whole?
Repeat that. Repeat that one time. My fault, brother.
Oh no, I was just saying as a whole, like especially just this last year. I was saying as a whole in general, but I'm switching it. Just as this last year, what did this year mean for you personally when it comes to the show?
Honestly, to be honest, it's crazy because it was like I wanted to. I feel like this year for the show, I don't compared to last year. I think last year was it is it was more or less we were just on like overdrive and just kept on trying to push through, just for the sake of trying to push through. I think now everybody is just in their space where it's just like, look, we're now is like how I feel about the show this year. It's just cruising. We're cruising because, and the thing we're just cruising about it is because we do have, because again, we have to still like remind ourselves this is basically like what we're doing as a hobby. It's not like our actual job. It's not like we do have real lives outside of this, and that unfortunately does come first. That comes first until, and sometimes I know that may get into the way of the pod, which is why y'all don't really see us on as much as how it was last year, or the year before. Like I know how that would make some people feel, but to be like, oh, you know why we don't see it? Y'all asking us if we still do record or anything, but I think for the most part, I think it's just from the aspect of, you know, we haven't been able to just record as much because I mean we just have real lives. Our lives are more precedent. Our real lives outside of this holds more precedent to what it is with this. And you have to just try to remember, like, you know, this really is for entertainment. We're not getting paid for any of this yet. Keyword yet. We're not getting paid for any of this yet. So it's not like our full-time job. Like we gotta handle it up. We just gotta that's why I'm saying like this year, it just feels like it's more cruising. We still trying to sort things out, figure some things out. That's about it.
No, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I would say this year definitely taught us to be patient with ourselves. And as some really close family it says, really giving ourselves grace, right? And just kind of learning how to stay us, you know, in the midst of everything, and even growing. I think all of us has grown a lot in this last year just due to our personal lives. And, you know, I can appreciate that, right? We've all kind of come a long way. So, you know, at the end of the day, I just think we should really be proud of ourselves for pushing through and, you know, maintaining what we have. Because this podcast is important to all four of us. So yeah, definitely. I wanted to. Oh, what I did want to ask is something about AEW. What is it about AEW that feels as if it seems like almost every build-up to the world title is grand and great up until they win the world title. Then it's kind of, you know, blah is kind of the word that I think of. What's up with that? Like, why does it feel like there's so much more importance when it comes to the chase?
Well, I mean, the chase is always important because that's part of the journey. Everybody, I think by design or by default, everybody wants to root for the underdog because they look at, you know, the person that's chasing the title, they see themselves through them. That's, or better yet, they feel like the wrestlers are projecting is projecting. It's like, oh, it resonates with them. So everybody really always wants to resonate with the underdog, the one that's chasing the belt, and they never want to. And by the time when they get to the mountaintop, it's just, it's like, okay, they're at the top. And then what happens when you're at the top? They turn on you. That literally is how it always is by design. You're always going to be respect the chase. And it's not even like that just with AEW. It's like that in every company. You really want to always respect the chase. You want to respect the chase, and you want to respect the chase because you want to resonate with someone who's the underdog. But one thing I will give that AEW does get it right with is that they actually give the payoff for the underdog to act when they do end up winning, or the person that's chasing. It does win. They do win. It's not like, it's not like you don't want to make it seem like, you're the underdog. You're chasing for the goal. You're chasing for the belt. And then you always keep losing. Because then after a while, it's not even that you're the underdog. Now everybody just looks at you like you're a loser. No, and then of course, nobody wants to ever resonate with losers. Nobody wants to resonate with that. Nobody wants to identify with being a loser. It's just not a good feeling. It's not okay. It makes you feel less than. So that's how I see it. I see like AEW does get it right with the chase, because they let the fan base, they've gotten the fan base to believe in an underdog and someone to be like, this is me. Like, I'm chasing, I'm trying to get to the top. I'm trying to get to that mountaintop, or I'm trying to get up there. This is part of a job. I'm trying to get to that. I'm trying to get to that promotion by any means necessary. That new position.
Repeat the question, and sorry I was going. I'm still with what I'm doing, but
not cool. The question is, what is it about the chase that makes it seem so much more important? And then once people win the title, it seems like it either dies down a lot or just kind of runs flat.
Well, I agree in a sense of, we're speaking about the underdog story. I think that's one thing that WWE still hasn't really gotten right or consistent in a way, because you do have the champion that continuously wins, then it gets boring because you're like, okay, they're not doing anything new, they're still doing the same song and dance, they're not changing. It's just more so, hey, we have the stationary champion doing stationary champion things. So, for example, I'll just give a WWE example, and then I'll give AEW example with that. We have Roman Reigns with this whole title run and the bloodline, which is, now establishing layers. It's been a very long time that we've said, we've had a champion with such layers, or we've had a champion which resulted in having a faction in which the faction can live on without the actual centerpiece, and have this many layers, have this many stories, weave a whole roster or two rosters at that into it, So I think it's not necessarily that the chase is the best thing about it, or I would say the chase is the best thing, but you have to make your champion just as strong. When I say just as strong, you have to be building everybody around you. And I think that's what AEW is lacking to me personally. We have all these thrown together matches. We have all these thrown together storylines. And I get it. You're the champion. You're giving everybody chances. You're giving everybody an eliminator match. You're giving it all of these things. Nothing's wrong with that. But for once, switch it up a little bit. Have the champion lose. We just seen it with the Acclaimed, actually. Doing it with the Young Bucks, where they beat the Young Bucks and now they get an actual title shot. So I'm saying, mix it up a bit. Make it so that we're not seeing this predictable cycle of, okay, the champion's always winning, but he has an opponent where he has an opponent where he should actually, have a bit of struggle, and maybe he's not as confident, and you can show that in an eliminator match. You can show that in promo battles. You can show that in different aspects where the champion can look human at times. And I think that's all that's missing. So I don't think just the chase is the best thing. I think if you have a champion, a relevant champion, that can do both. Which I'll give another example now. You have Swerve as champion right now, but I honestly think Osprey as international champion? Okay, just want to make sure of that. Osprey as international champion, I feel does more of what Swerve should be doing. It's not necessarily the workhorse rate, but it is the promos, it is the storylines, it is building these people, building the roster around you. And to me, Swerve is the champion, of course, but he's basically being overshadowed. You've got Moxley there with the IWGP title. That's bringing more eyes that away from Swerve. You've got Osprey, who's been red hot. I would even say white hot. Hasn't cooled down, has been the whole focus, and makes Swerve irrelevant. You got MJF come back, and MJF's basically like, hey, you know what? I'm going to the back of the line. I'm going to work with the young guys. I'm going to work with the lower card of the roster and build stars. Why isn't your champion doing that? So that's the AEW comparison. If you want my perfect champion or my perfect build of a roster, Gunther is exactly it. Every match had story. Every match had an inkling of, oh, Gunther may, he may actually lose. To where you're having matches with like people like The Miz, and you're like, is Miz gonna actually pull out a win? That's exactly how it should be. A champion shouldn't always be ironclad, steel strong. You have to show logical vulnerabilities at certain times. Sometimes it is, that cliche willpower. Sometimes it is, actual technical prowess and chopping at arms, chopping at legs, and doing that type of stuff. Psychology is a great thing to have in the ring, but your champion has to build everybody around him. From the lowest of the totem pole to the highest of the totem pole. So even if he's the mid card and Cody's, top of the card, you have to have somebody who's building everybody up to that point. Whether it's Cody or whether it's Gunther, whether it's Swerve, whether it's Osprey, and I think that formula is very important to building your company. That formula is great in terms of building your TV time. So to have all of these thrown together dream matches, that's dope. People want to see this stuff. And sometimes it's just random things that people never thought they wanted to see, and they see that. But to me, you need to have a bit of story. You need to have some bit of an investment into these storylines. Now, if it's the lower card guys and you're just throwing together matches just to get them TV time, build a story around it. There's nothing hard about that to do. Build a story. Get me invested. Okay, so these two had 2 out of 3 falls in a match. One guy went over. The next guy was angry, beat him up. And then now you're starting to see layers. You're starting to see stuff build. All that stuff is important to all these stories and these characters.
Right.
So to answer your question, is the chase more important, or is it valued more? I say so, yes. But you having the chase of Handman Page for 2 years, trying to chase the AEW title, finally getting it, and he's a subpar champion. You're not finishing that story. And I hate to use that term as well, but you're not really building on that story. The man was chasing for 2 years and had a very lackluster champion run. He had some great matches in between, but you didn't really present him like a champion. But hey, we'll run back to Moxley, give him the title. Or hey, we'll give it to all these other people that aren't really doing what Hangman did in those 2 years in terms of character growth, in terms of, building a faction, which he did. He did help Dark Order become something. So all this stuff is all pieces that's involved. If you don't have all that stuff working together, then it just becomes lackluster. You're going to just have a champion with a belt, and it's going to be a small reign, or it's going to be just, a champion with a belt. I have nothing to remember from this champion. I have nothing to remember from this character. So there you go.
No, I hear you. Well, look, I don't want to prolong this talk. I do want to get this on. First and foremost, shout out to a friend of the pods, Big Baby, um, one of the hosts of your sports show. Even though he put shoe, but he's probably texting fast. Shout out to you, brother, and everybody on the squad. Shout out to Peter Rosario. Shout out to We Are Wrestling. I definitely want to give a shout out to the brother Raymond Sanchez and the family at the Knuckleheads Network. Shout out to Jarbateers podcast, and all our family from there. There's so many more people, and I'll probably name them a little later. I definitely want to talk about something, or I should say someone, that we have spoken about many a time on the pod. Somebody who's near and dear to all of our hearts, who passed away last year, but now we're starting to see, the fruits of his labor. The dream, the ideas come to life now. And that being Bray Wyatt. And now having the Wyatt 6 on TV. So 2 Mondays ago, we got to see an amazing one shot at the end of Raw. And to me, one of the best endings of Raw probably of all time. As he said, it was a massacre, but we got to see the physical embodiment of Mercy, Ramblin' Rabbit, Husky Harris.
Husky's the pig. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Husky's the pig. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Sister Abigail, or Abby the Witch.
Yeah.
And the returning Uncle Howdy. They literally did what they were going to say and created a massacre, which is something we haven't really seen on WWE television, the way they did that, which is awesome. But also I wanted to talk about last week, this past Raw, where Chad Gable was in the ring. The lights go off the way the Fiend does it. Side note, I do want to say all of their masks are amazing. But and then Abby the Witch comes out, creeps out Chad Gable, then gives a VHS tape to Michael Cole. Michael Cole takes it to the truck. They play it, and it's Uncle Howdy talking to who we used to know as Bo Dallas. We don't know what his name is going to be going forward outside of Uncle Howdy. To which, personally, I hope they use his real name, in my opinion. But there's something special about this, man. And it's not only because this is Bray's baby, right? But also because I think this is something that the WWE needed. We needed somebody with that mystical aspect. You gotta excuse me, my allergies are going nuts. But we needed somebody like that, right? We needed a presence that has that like mystical kind of take to it. Because it's been with the WWE for quite some time, right? And I guess that'll be the topic. I'll ask everybody afterwards. But what do you think about it, man? What do you guys think about the new Wyatt 6 and their presentation and the future? Well, maybe not the future. Let's not jump into that. But what do you think of the presentation of the Wyatt 6, the look, and all of that jazz?
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. Speaking of supernatural, I have an incoming.
Beautiful. And there it goes. There it goes, y'all.
He made it. I realized I was on mute. My bad. He made it finally. Jesus Monte Cristo.
Man's ramble like rabbit.
Well, this is that would be no, I would be Rambling Rabbit actually. That would be me. He would be to be honest, he'd probably be Uncle Howdy. Let's be honest. Let's be real.
Yeah.
He would definitely be Uncle
I'm the
Howdy.
most country person in this.
I
You probably do. You have the country accent down.
and also when I get older, I aspire to dress like Michael Hayes, and Uncle Howdy dresses close.
This is true.
Yep.
to Michael
This
Hayes.
is true.
I'll take that.
That's hilarious. All right, well, look, I've been holding off the intro. We're 35 minutes in, about to be 36 minutes in.
My apologies.
Nah, listen, sir.
Life
It is what it is, bro.
Life is life.
Yeah, that's what happens, dog.
That's the story of season 3.
I'm the only idiot that will pick up his work phone after.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, there's no denying that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta give y'all the intro, even though we already in there. It's kind of like, you know, when they give you like the first 5 minutes and then they hit you with the intro and then they go with the rest of the show. That's what this is. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for joining us on the 4th anniversary. 1, 2, 3, 4 anniversary of the group, of the show, of the squad that's including your guy, K Marvel.
And ladies and gentlemen, you already know it is Key West.
It is I, the big stretch himself, and I'd like to say welcome to New York, to Mikal Bridges, even though you've already played in Brooklyn.
You're saying welcome to the real New York.
No. I mean, they ain't written that. Either way, it don't matter. He's still paying New York taxes.
Fact.
New York taxes across the bridge.
He literally just went across the bridge. He's still paying the same New York taxes. It's like,
yeah, we all stuck with them taxes, boy.
Yeah, you
and
ain't
it's Stryker Dragoon. What's up, y'all? We back.
Oh man, and we are your Four Corners of Commentary.
Finally.
Right. All right. And just because, happy for your anniversary, sucker. So yeah, man. Oh, it never came up, did it? There it is. Happy anniversary.
Continuing on, as I was saying, I feel like the presentation of this Wide Six is beautiful. I don't think there's so much to really dissect of this in its entirety. I don't think people were like, for one, you don't realize every time they find when they do show up, you see the distortion. You see like everybody's like, is sprawled out. They're all over the place. It's like for instance, even what happened on this past Monday when Happy the Witch came into the ring, the security that was guarding the announce team, they're all like sprawled out. Everyone's like sprawled out. So it's like, I feel like that's like a cool effect. It's like a reverse effect. Like I feel like when they show up, it's like Giratina from Pokemon, the reverse world. That's where it's like. So that's what like people are understanding. Like again, when you saw the VHS tape and you saw Taylor having that conversation with Uncle Howdy, and Uncle Howdy's like asking him, who are you? And he said, I'm nobody. There you are. It's like it's interacting back and forth, He's like, and they really like they're tapping into. They really are like going full steam, like tapping into it, like asking real questions, not bullshit. They're asking him, "How did you feel?" Everyone was saying, thinking that there's always the things that people said, like they thought that they were gonna. There's some people that felt like they're exploiting the death. That was a stupid tweet that went out there, like they're exploiting it. And when you clearly see Uncle Howdy is asking himself that same question, "How did you really feel when your brother died?" And you would have thought that Taylor wasn't going to go there, but he did, and he said it straight up. It's like felt like he lost everything, like he lost the most important thing to him in his life. This is the man that he grew up with, that he loved, that he always looked up to. This is his older brother. He wanted to be him. He wanted to be like him. And when he felt like him just suddenly passing like that. It was sad for everyone, but he felt like, yo, like everybody just took it away, like something that's so much was just taken away from me, and it's just like that just hurts. Like it hurt him to beyond compare. And he was like, he wanted to, and as he said, I wanted everybody to remind everybody to remember it, to remember us. Like didn't want them to forget, like think that it was a forgotten thing. Like we wanted so it's like it's a way of like taking down the system. And exactly as Uncle Howdy said, we sure did. We showed them. And I don't think people noticed in the background, they had that whole entire conversation in the Firefly Funhouse. And it's like, it's just like, it's not fun. And it's like, damn, Bray's really gone. It's not fun anymore. Now the Funhouse is just pitch black. And I don't think y'all even notice it again. Uncle Howdy, he's up. You see how before Bray always wore hurt and healed. All Uncle Howdy's wearing is hurt. He's just wearing a hurt glove.
Yeah.
You don't see on his other hand. It's not heel. It's no glove at all. It's no heel. It's just
and
hurt.
and respectfully, it says Bray on it. So that's his personal way of respect.
Yeah.
And not only that, but with Mercy. Mercy has the hammer, which we know goes back to the Bludgeon Brothers.
White Rabbit.
That was Rambling Rabbit. I'm sorry, you're right. I apologize. Yeah, Rambling Rabbit had the hammer or the sledgehammer, which goes back to the Bludgeon Brothers, which is an homage to Luke Harper, also known as Brody Lee. And I mean, even the group of people that's a part of this group, and I know it's public knowledge by now, but I still don't want to. I don't want to like unveil, right? I don't want to take the mystique away from it. So we're just going to name them the puppets, or the names of the puppets, because that's who they're representing. Right. Real quick, shout out to Mr. Black, 1/3 of the Dramateers podcast. Thank you, brother. We love you, man. Hope all is well. He's out here killing it, doing the refereeing gigs, I should say. He's over here crushing it, man. I'm so proud of him. That's my brother right there. But yeah, man. Stretch, how do you feel about the Wyatt Six, their presentation, their mask, their whole mystique, right? Do you think that, first off, so that's part A of the question that I want you to answer, and for you specifically, would you say that they, as of right now, seeing 2 weeks, obviously way more than 2 weeks with the QR codes and things like that, but since they're actually here now, do you think that as of right now they're going the right way about it? Are they respecting Bray's legacy? What do you think?
Absolutely.
To answer that question right off the bat, I do think they're respecting Bray's legacy as far as, the presentation of everything. It does have a supernatural flair to it, which I think is fine. I think there's room for that type of stuff in the WWE. It's always going to be like anything that they can make over the top with their presentation and stuff. I thought the way that they debuted was fantastic. As far as like, just the body sprawled out, and them to keep that continuity, like as you mentioned it with the guards, like that were guarding Michael Cole. Like it's like she shows up and then, they're just like absolutely sprawled out over the announce desk and stuff as she dropped off the VHS tape, which was a relic, from our past. Now it's like, I think it was great that they did it a VHS tape rather than here's a DVD for you to play, right? It just had like a grungier, older feel to it that I liked. But I will say though, I think the best part was Bo Dallas's like interview, I guess you could call it, with Uncle Howdy. And I think that it was fantastic. I think the best thing about it for him, and it's got to be really cathartic for the family, as a whole. I can say as a fan, I believe it or not, I still haven't watched the documentary because I wasn't in the greatest mental health space.
Neither have I.
And, it was like, a guy who was so young having to face his mortality at such a young age, it was like, it really isn't fair when the guy's like personal life. He left behind a wife and 2 younger children with JoJo. And I think he has a younger child with his ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
For him to have to leave that behind, it was heart-wrenching. I can only imagine what the Rotunda family went through. the Rotunda and the Wyndham families had to go through, just knowing that he wasn't there anymore, knowing that he passed away. And, I think that if there's more of that stuff, it's done tongue in cheek. It's done with storyline purposes, right? Like, I think the question, like, who are you, and he's like really tapping into like the darkness of the situation. Like, they took him from me, right? And he's no longer there. And, we had to make people remember who you are and stuff like that, because it was easy for Bo Dallas to get lost in the shuffle in comparison to his brother.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people always Bray Wyatt this, Bray Wyatt that. Bo Dallas, a lot of people forget. Bo Dallas was a pretty big star in the early days of NXT. He was like the first,
Seth Rollins was the first ever.
One of the early NXT champions, but he was like the first guy that really.
Third.
Yeah, he was the third NXT champion. He beat Big E for it, But he was like one of the guys that really like organically got over with his own gimmick, and it was like, oh, they're gonna try to turn him into Super Cena, and I'm like, you idiots! Like, they're making him act like this on purpose so people can hate him,
Exactly.
And he got over so organically with that character. Like, I remember like some of the stuff, like the cheesy catchphrases he would have, like, all you got to do is believe, and it's bow tie.
Believe. It's just like, what?
Yeah, that's when they had him do the political thing. They were having like a political candidate, and he was running his campaign with that.
Yeah, he was doing like the victory lap after every victory and everything, and like. I think a lot of people forget, like, he's a pretty talented wrestler, I think, in his own right.
Absolutely.
And this is a platform not only honoring the legacy of Bray Wyatt and all the stuff that he brought to the WWE with his Fiend character, and even before that, and some of the stuff he was going to do, before his untimely passing, I think this is really an opportunity for him to sink his teeth into something while also honoring his brother's legacy and also healing from such, a traumatic loss. Because I don't know what it's like to have a brother per se that's of the same blood of me, that's born in the same womb and stuff. But that had to be a heavy loss for him, especially because they came up together. Yeah. They went through the wrestling business together. They were a tag team in FCW before NXT together, And for him to lose his brother in such a sudden manner, and his brother touched so many people and touched so many lives, and not only in the WWE, but outside, just the fans and stuff. For him to lose that, is one thing. I think they're tapping into the respect that, it's not just his loss, the fans have lost something too, but it's a lot different loss for him,
Absolutely.
Family member, and for him to lose a brother, to tap into the whole darkness of they took him from me. I thought that was such a powerful line because it's kind of like a double entendre. Is he talking about the fans taking his ability to grieve from him, or is he talking about his brother leaving, the physical plane that we know is life? It's a deep thought.
It really goes deep. But what it does also show you, Stretch, is that this is what we're seeing played out is what a lot of people they don't want to admit, or they struggle with just coming to terms with, is grief.
Yeah.
And this is, I feel like what they're doing, this is really the healthiest way for us to grieve in a healthy manner and heal. I just feel, because like not like, just to get this point across, it's like it's because again they always say, like, grief is eternal. It never goes away. Grief is always forever. But the only thing, you have to be able to try to maneuver through it. How can you maneuver through your grief? You can't dwell in it. Now as you can see in the story of this part of the story, this is obviously, you want to separate it as, this Taylor and Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy is his own separate entity, and Bo is Taylor. Bo Dallas, aka Taylor. He's just trying to he's trying to see within himself. He's trying to see within himself, or trying to he's literally looking himself in the mirror. And I think this is a way of, it's either, not to say is you have to. There's always a way you got to traverse through the darkness, through this pain of loss and grief, and to come out on the other side and be okay and be all happy. But when reality is no. Instead, what Bo's doing is he's embracing it. embrace this loss and embrace the darkness, but also in the same factor, show and remind everyone like this is what really was going to happen all in the long run. So he's just trying to see it through to the end. So he's also going to show y'all like, all right, you're seeing somebody raging in grief. This is all part of it. It's part of grief. It's part of loss.
And,
You have the right to be angry. Like, for everyone to like sit there and say, feel and say like, they question it and feel like this was, is this done in a tasteful manner? It's like, yes, because at the end of the day, the only person that would have had anything to say or wouldn't be budging on this would be his little brother, his actual direct family. If his direct family, if his wife, his children, and his father and his uncle, if they all had an issue with this wouldn't even be happening. None of this storyline would be scrapped. So it's like, you have to allow people. You can't tell people how to grieve. You can't tell people how to grieve. You can't tell people how to maneuver through their grief. Just because this is not something you would do, you can't tell. You can't say that. You can't speak for them. Don't speak for anybody that's going through it.
right.
So it's so many layers. Wide 6. Because even with the QR codes, like if every of us were really paying attention, like it was always, the writing was always on the wall, like the hangman. We always saying like him saying, telling us, revel in who you are. And it was just like, that was Uncle Howdy telling us like, hey, like look into yourself and just either remember who you are or just embrace who you are. Like you don't try to put on this mask. I think that's what's so funny, was so crazy about the Wyatt Six, or the Wyatts in general, the Wyatt family storyline in general is it's about a man that literally was trying to always show the darkest part of one's soul, to make them see, like, if there's someone that always says like, they're all good, everything's all happy go lucky, that's just not what it is. Trying to just show you is like, yo, you don't have to like be exactly who you are. Like that's what it is. That's what it's so much because I know there's like so many I would say for y'all to watch a documentary, you should. Obviously, not to say you not even be. I get why some of y'all wouldn't watch it, because you're not in the right mental space. No matter what, it's still a reality. I would say it is very it was very well thought out. It's very well put. It was beautiful. It does make, obviously, we're all gonna miss Bray. We still miss him. We miss Wyndham to this day. But I think it adds on more to this lore of the Wyatt story. So it's just like I would suggest you both to watch it, because you really get, especially with the end, you get to see what he was really trying to like show the world. We're trying to show everybody.
So to add on to that too, it's like, right, it's almost like, the character Bray Wyatt, and even the man when he did speak about it, but the character Bray Wyatt and the character The Fiend is pretty much a walking, mental health, billboard. You know what I mean? Just like you said, smiling in front of the cameras and then having that rage on the inside. It really explains a lot of just human nature, not just with rage, but just with everything. And excuse me, like I said, it's really special, man, to see this flourish and to see what it's becoming. And if anybody can do it, it's Bo / Taylor, right? I think if anybody can push on this legacy and push what could have been the dream of Bray Wyatt, which is now seems like it's just the dream of the family, to push that to new heights, is really important and really special. Strike.
Yes, sir.
My question for you, when it comes to the Wyatt Six, is we're gonna have you fantasy book a little, all right? Okay. So we know they got this whole thing with Chad Gable going on right now.
Mhm.
Who knows where this is going? It's probably going to be. We saw that there might end up being a new version of either the Alpha Academy or Diamond Mine.
Alpha Academy.
Yeah, well, let's see. Let's see. A new name might be good for him too. But do you see who would you see chasing titles? And not so much when, but like who do you think would chase what title? When it's time for that?
Well, I don't see them doing anything mid card in the sense of like an intercontinental title or a US title at the moment.
Well, no,
I
not. I
think
mean, this is all future anyway. So
right. I'm just saying. Well, I'm just saying, like short future, I don't see it right now. Long future depends on how they weave the story. Do I think Uncle Howdy needs to be in the main event scene right now? I don't think so. Harking back to what I said earlier about building the mid card, building lower stars, making them something, right? So you have two of the people in the faction that we know personally, who we know is a part of the faction. I think it's best that you build them, but you can build them in the tag team division. I think that's the best way to do it on that end. Abby the Witch, which we all know who that is. I'm not too sure if you want to inject her into the women's division in a title sense per se, because you can. I'm not saying you can't. You can. But with prior stories that she's had, I think she's probably the most primed to go for a title out of the group. That's my personal opinion.
So, question with the rumors talking about Alexa coming back and her being the sixth member, would do you think it would be good if they chased the tag titles before one of them went for the women's title?
If that is true, then yes, I think you do the sub guys, which is the men, and you do the two women, and they'll go for the tag titles. Because right before Alexa left, she was doing something with Alexa Bliss in the sense of, hey, we're a team, we're this, I can't say, I wouldn't say like a spooky team necessarily, but they were on more of the darker side of things. And I don't, if I remember, I remember they were doing something along the line, story.
Well, yeah, that and they were teasing Uncle Howdy already, like still teasing Uncle Howdy with Alexa.
I personally feel I don't feel this faction really doesn't need titles. I don't think they need to be in those type of in a chase. I don't think they need to be in a title picture. Their whole entire getup is literally been to destroy the system. It literally makes no sense for them to not even say it. And I mean, also if Alexa, I personally don't even think that Alexa should be even the sixth member. I think the sixth member should always why it's six. If it's six, it should just stay as six and homage should just be it's still gray. Just leave it as gray.
Right.
I feel like the thing is like the only thing is like and it's like you don't really need another spooky team because you already got another spooky team. You got the Unholy Union for the women. Unholy Union,
but they're not touting them as a supernatural team.
Well, they're also not touting the Wyatt Six that way either.
They literally were using a cauldron, like trying to curse the titles. Like, wait, what are we saying?
But I'm saying this is before what's happening now. You understand what I mean? So I don't know if that will be the direction necessarily, because even to the Wyatt Six, they're trying to keep them more grounded in like reality. If you know what I mean.
That's what I say. Like it doesn't need to be another. That's why I said it doesn't need to be another spooky team. That's why they don't even need to be in that aspect of supernatural business. Because really and truthfully, we haven't actually seen me calling it the reverse world. That's just me how I've interpreted it. You haven't seen lightning come out of any of these guys' hands. You haven't seen the ring start shaking or tilt over. Nothing. You haven't seen them. They're not levitating. They're just I wouldn't even say they're a supernatural team. They're really just it really just looks like they are just a collective of people who have all had some type of interaction with Bray in some type of shape or form, that they all decided to come together, and they're going to carry on Bray's will of was what he always wanted to do, was destroy the system.
Well, I'll say this in a different look. I'll say in different eyes. I think for me, it's more so of the people who have been quote unquote forgotten, right? Like everything happened with Brody Lee when he went to AEW. He became TNT title, or he became TNT champion. Excuse me. And literally before his passing, it's arguably, you could say, he was one of the hottest acts on AEW. But people forgot about Rowan. People forgot about Eric Redbeard. Nikki Cross. They were doing this whole backstage thing for a while. She became Nikki ASH, where people was kind of like, all right, we're good, even though that was her baby, that was her creation. And she became more champion with it. So, and then once again, people kind of forgot about Nikki Cross. You have, and I know I said I wasn't going to ruin the mystique, but for explanations purposes, you have Joe Gacy, right? Joe Gacy was on the Indies doing his thing. Comes to WWE, has Schism. Schism works for a while, and then once again, kind of to the wayside as NXT kept moving. You have Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis had an incredible run in NXT. Married to Indy Hartwell. Comes up to the WWE, does a couple things here and there. When he comes up, he has the whole thing with The Miz and Johnny Gargano. But once again, as time passed by, wayside, right? And then last but not least, you have Bo Dallas, who is the biggest victim when it comes to this. Because once again, like Stretch said, he was doing his thing, and then the B team happened. They became SmackDown Tag Champions. And then I believe it was SmackDown. And then what happened after that, right? He got released.
Yeah.
And once again, people talk about Bray. Like you said, people talk about Bray. They don't really talk about Bo Dallas like that. And just like Stretch said, man, Bo Dallas is one of the he's such an underrated wrestler. And he was able to make anything work. And I think when you look back at that promo between the B team and the leaders of Worlds, him doing the Bray voice, which essentially is probably just their normal twang, but him being so close to his brother and, understanding, or at least being able to understand him, being able to have these conversations about the Bray Wyatt character, the Uncle Howdy character, obviously we know that he knows more than everybody else, right? Because of the obvious reasons of them being close.
Right.
But I think, once again, these are just 5 people that are kind of forgotten or kind of gone to the wayside. The thing with Alexa is that there was already that connection. She's outside of Rowan, really. She's really the only other person in this faction that has a direct connection with Bray. So I think out of respect, that she said that was the most fun she's had in wrestling. So I think, Alexa, and shout out to her for being a mom and everything. But if she's willing to come back, man, I can only think that she would do nothing but help move forward the story and the group and the mystique, once again, because they don't want to make it supernatural, but the mystique of the group. Sorry, real quick. What up, Andrew? That's our boy Andrew from Behind the Barricade podcast. We have done many shows with. Shout out to everybody over there for sure. Real quick before we keep going with the Wyatt Six, I do want to talk about some of the supernatural characters that has been in wrestling. Period. Now we talk about Bray all the time, so we're going to exclude Bray in this conversation, and we're also going to exclude the Undertaker because he's just somebody else that we all know we have multitudes of respect for. He's on some of our Mount Rushmores, but I want to keep them outside of this conversation. What I want to talk about these supernatural characters, I just want to think of somebody that's not typical that comes to your mind.
Joe Hendry.
Say his name and he'll appear.
Because it's literally out of this world. Like, it doesn't make any sense how this.
That's not supernatural. I don't know what it is.
He's just here. He just shows up. I was just like, and you always wonder, like, who the fuck is this guy?
Where did he come from?
Who the fuck is Joe Hendry?
That's hilarious.
For anybody who didn't watch it, that Chris Van Vliet interview with him is amazing. You just go watch it.
Shout out to Chris bringing out all the hot interviews, the hot fire.
So you said supernatural characters?
I got one.
Just one that pops in your head, but somebody that's not your typical.
I got one that you guys will nod your head, but he's like supernatural in a really hokey way. Papa Shango.
He is very much so.
I'm like appearing like guys running down guys' face and everything. Like, the cool thing though is I remember like he was wrestling a jobber and the lights went out and the jobber's feet were on fire.
That's hilarious.
Burning, that was pretty cool. Like, I remember seeing that as a kid and was like, oh wow, mind you, I was 3, but it was like, whoa, like, his feet are on fire. Like, oh my god. But Papa Shango was so fucking hokey. Like, it was really like, I mean, I think it got relatively over, but just
yeah,
back, it's like there's no way that anybody could have bought this. That was like older than
Strike.
I was gonna be funny, but
no, go ahead, please.
R-Truth.
I hate you.
R-Truth, supernatural.
R-Truth is a supernatural character.
How is R-Truth supernatural? Please explain this.
Because he's a vampire.
Jimmy. You gotta explain little Jimmy, man. Little
Jimmy
was real.
No, Jimmy. No, Jimmy was
real.
R-Truth is crazy. He's just crazy. R-Truth is just nuts. Yeah, that's it. It's not supernatural.
No, let me be serious. Supernatural character. Oh God, and I'm sure we've had it. I'm just trying to remember. I don't know why I was thinking Mordecai. It wasn't Mordecai. It was definitely something.
I was thinking about
Mordecai is definitely one of them.
No, but I'm saying that wasn't. I wasn't thinking of a shitty character.
That's what I was thinking of.
Good character. I was thinking of an actual good character, but I forgot. But yeah, Mordecai. Mordecai was pretty interesting to say the least. You want to say like reverse ministry type deal?
I think,
or like cult leader.
I
think the problem, unfortunately, with Mordecai is like it was a decent gimmick, but I think because at the time we only had the Undertaker and we only cared I think they tried to do a program with him and the Undertaker and it just wasn't connecting. It was like,
I can answer what happened. He got into a altercation with a fan, I think, or some guy drunk.
Okay.
He beat the shit out of the guy. He got into legal trouble. So it's like they put him on TV after that. He got into
if I'm not mistaken, that is also the person that I just thought of, which is Kevin Thorne. Thank you, Kevin Thorne.
BCW,
he was a vampire.
I'm surprised. There's one that, okay, I'm going to let this go on a little longer, but I'm pretty sure somebody's going to say this name, but it's like an obvious one that no one said yet.
Okay.
But I'm not going to say his name yet. I want to see if we'll get to it. Somebody
got
to say
you.
it for me.
Got you.
You said it was a he.
So,
Okay. Cool.
so I'm gonna say Kerwin White. Because
God.
because I don't listen. It has to take some type of magical ability to change a Mexican man to a white man. I'm just saying.
So he was supernaturally white.
No, he was. It was no. It would be. It was. He was supernatural in such a transformation. Like, you know what I mean? Talk about the code switch. It was real. No, but when it comes to supernatural-esque
Nobody said
characters,
Abyss.
Abyss is a great answer.
Abyss?
I would
Got
say
two more I could rattle off.
not Abyss, but more so Father Mitchell.
James Mitchell.
Okay, Father Mitchell.
But honestly,
funny as fuck guy, by the way. He's funny as
Brother
hell.
Love.
no, Brother Love wasn't mystical.
Too young.
He always was around it. He was always around it.
Yeah, but he wasn't though.
Too young.
You know what I mean? I would definitely say Sting.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, there's a lot of people that wouldn't put Sting in that type of supernatural-esque theme, but I mean, when he was the Crow,
They tried a little later on in the dying days of WCW.
Is Sue Young a bad suggestion?
I felt that Sting.
No.
Pro Sting to me is like, he was more like Batman. He kind of was like, it was like Batman-esque. It just felt like it was
but I mean, that's what Sting. But Sting was the Crow. You know what I mean? He would get hit. Bro, he was the only dude busting up 50 people in one wrestling ring.
The funniest thing about that is that Sting was the Crow, and he has admitted and said that he never even saw the Crow City of Angels, because everybody feels like that's where he got it from, and he said no, that's not. He didn't even get it from the Crow. He'd never seen the movie, so it's always funny. That's why I say I don't really see Crow Sting or Wolfpack Sting as like supernatural. It really
definitely
was just
not Wolfpack
like
Sting.
Batman. You coming from the rafters? That's just like, oh, that's Batman. That's some Batman shit. That's something Batman would do. Just come out of nowhere and just start beating the shit out of everybody. He was a vigilante. He was a vigilante. That's literally what they also called him, the vigilante. The
Listen,
icon.
I just want to let it be known that people don't give NWO Wolfpack enough credit. I just want to let that. I just want to put that out there, because they by far, to me, they by far the best version of the NWO. In my opinion.
Nah.
A lot of people hated it. I don't give a damn.
I definitely hated it.
Nah, bro. Yo,
Wolfpack was cool, but
the NWO had 323 members. All right,
that's the thing. That's the largest organization besides the NYPD. But that's just not disgusting.
Jesus.
That's a supernatural faction. We could say that.
The NWO?
Yeah, astronomical numbers, bro.
I refuse. Nope. Absolutely not.
Astronomical.
Absolutely the fuck not.
They make members pop up out of nowhere. How is that
no,
not supernatural?
it wasn't out of nowhere. They were there.
This is the only organization that Dennis Rodman actually joined. So it's just like,
yo, for real, and loved it.
Like,
he literally. My God, I think I had a female character too, and
you said Sue Young.
No, it wasn't Sue Young. I had more. I had way more.
Abaddon.
Nah, definitely not. Rosemary,
absolutely.
TNA has a bunch, and that's why I'm rattling off names. I'm trying to think.
No one is gonna say that the Great Muta is not supernatural.
Great Muta's up there.
I'll say earlier years,
call him supernatural. Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Definitely, before anybody says anything, definitely not Jushin Thunder Liger. He just had a dark side. That's all it was.
Also, so we're not going to say that Keishan Liger is not supernatural. It's just
he's not. He's just dark. He's evil.
Darker age, like he had like a unmasked gimmick.
Or not evil, but yeah, he's
like a
unmasked. He really. As soon as that mask came off, and then you see that paint, all of a sudden he's got. Next thing you know, he got a blade. He has a fucking blade in his hand. He's ready to kill you and commit actual murder. It's like, whoa.
You know, I Thank you. That's exactly who I was about to go to.
But that
How do we not
that's
talk
not
about the
where I was
demon
going.
Finn Balor?
The demon Finn Balor, yeah, you could say is definitely supernatural.
There's a name that nobody has said.
Yeah, who is it, Stretch?
The Boogeyman.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
the
Man,
person.
wasn't no damn supernatural.
Yes, the hell he was.
Crazy because that was my first pick. That was
just a
actually
scary-
my first thought. And
That
I
was
forgot.
just a scary man. That was just a weird man.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. Anybody that
A weird man with
Freaking
worms. That
Nightcrawler.
wasn't no
Right,
damn
but
supernatural
he was
shit about
totally
it.
supernatural.
He definitely was, for sure.
You wasn't getting
supernatural.
you didn't get converted and turn and you didn't get converted. You didn't get dragged under the ring or get dragged down to hell. He was just
He didn't get dragged into a ring. He is all in our closets when we were kids.
oh god. You're getting the wrong stuff.
Gangrel.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, the Brood. Yeah. How do we not?
PCO?
Who?
PCO.
Yeah.
That's supernatural. I'll give it to you.
How do we not say Hornswoggle?
All right.
I wouldn't say Hornswoggle.
How is he not? How is he not?
Maybe.
Are y'all kidding me?
That's how he debuted, perhaps. But
Come on. Come on.
All right, okay, enough is enough.
I'm just saying.
What are we doing?
You can make an argument.
The baby
I remember
hand.
He drew a tunnel on a wall and he was able to go through it.
Yeah. See?
Like in the cartoons,
See?
you can make an argument.
See?
That's what
The baby hand from Mae Young.
wow.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh wow, because it was born from Mark Henry and me.
I don't think that was supernatural. I think that was monstrous.
That was just the are we gonna say that was the demonic conception?
Yes.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Vampiro is a supernatural.
I'll give you Vampiro.
Vampiro is, they tried hard with Vampiro and WCW to make him Undertaker light.
And once again, there's a million people that we're not even touching right now.
So,
Pause.
I'm pretty sure there's got to be another. Oh,
There is.
Willow.
Right now, who are the women's tag team champions?
He mentioned them earlier.
Oh, you mentioned them earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I remember she did the thing in NXT where like she
Willow.
touched the ref and like he like
Willow, as in like Jeff Hardy Willow.
Jeff Hardy Willow, yes.
Yeah. Willow. Well, look, man. We spoke about a bunch of wrestling stuff. I was talking to QS before we went on live or on air, and I was telling him, yo, FC23 is fire. You want to talk a little bit of video games? FC23, yes, I'm sorry, FC24 is fire.
It was FIFA in 23.
Yeah. Game is
they lost it, so it's just like, oh, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah,
game is amazing. I just want to let it know. Game is amazing.
We get NHL 24 this month. Well, next week.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'm good.
NHL games are damn good.
No, I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying personally, I don't need to get into another sports game.
We get NHL and then we get Among Us next month.
Yeah, that's the free PS, the free PS Plus. I'm good on those other two. I'll probably download Borderlands 3.
Yeah, I gotta play Borderlands. I got the whole freaking collection somewhere. I think my Xbox has it, but I gotta see it on my PlayStation.
But
Dragon Ball's looking pretty good.
Yo, Sparkling Zero is going to be insane.
I'm really like I definitely want the game. I just don't know if I would would it be crazy enough for me to pull that trigger and go for I guess the ultra deluxe to get that figurine, because that figurine is fire. I don't care.
That figurine is insane.
But I was like
Gogeta versus that's UI versus Broly, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like it was insane. I'm just telling myself, do I want to do it or do I not want to do that? Nah.
Well, I think it's better you get it anyway because the season pass has 22 freaking characters.
That's insane.
22.
That is true. That's true.
And
they already have what 150, 200 characters, something like that.
probably gonna hit like 300 characters. I'm
That's
not
crazy.
even surprised.
It's gonna be.
The only
it's gonna
reason
be
I say that because they literally have each character from the Tournament of Power. So I don't know if they're going to include the manga characters, but they do have Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 a part
Right.
of that season.
They
pass.
have a lot of the movie characters. They have a lot of the little characters that don't matter, like Spolchovich. Well, I know I said his name wrong, but
Popovich
no,
and,
you didn't. You didn't say it wrong. You said it right.
and the
Spokovich.
girls team and the girls team from the Tournament of Power, which I think
yeah,
is cool.
Ribrianne, and that would be dope. Look, it's gonna be everybody who played Budokai Tenkaichi or Budokai back in the day. This is like homecoming for us, you know. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of
I'm
fun.
waiting for them to go back to just regular Budokai style, but Tenkai.
I think a lot of us have, but yeah, I mean, but it's an extremely similar style though.
Quick details though. They are, I guess, planning to balance the game, so I think that's cool. For competitive mode, they have ratio battles, which is basically if you play any other fighting game, they have ratio in certain games, like
SNK.
Capcom versus SNK had that for a while. So basically, for the ratio battles, depending on the character that you choose, you either are able to do a team of 3 or 2 or just 1, depending on how strong they are.
Right.
So I think that's awesome. If you're gonna do split screen, only split screen is in the hyperbolic time chamber, which I think is perfect because there's nothing to break in there. You have plenty of space, so it's a good place to do the split screen. But they said everything else is online. The only way to play locally split screen is the hyperbolic time chamber, which I think is better than anything because we didn't even think that they were able to get it if they were speaking about just online. But they said the game is meant to be played like full screen. They want everybody to get that experience. So we can only hope that the internet experience is that good because you know how Bandai is outside of Tekken.
Yeah.
Garbage.
True.
Yeah. Also, a lot of people. Let's go on a Nintendo front. A lot of people are very excited because Metroid Prime 4 was announced, and
it's not coming out till Switch 2. So
I mean, either way, you know what I mean. There are so many people that love the Metroid Prime series that was formerly on a GameCube.
It's so
hearing, huh?
No, I was gonna not. I'm sorry to cut you off. I really am. It's like I only said when you said the Switch, and then y'all say Switch 2. It's so sad. Like y'all to say that, I'm just like, damn, they about to come out with a Switch 2, and I still don't have a Switch.
Wait, hold on. Don't feel bad. I'm still the only one out there
compatible.
I barely use my Switch. Don't feel too bad.
Wait, same here. And let's be honest, bro. I still don't have a PS5. It's coming this year, but I still don't have a PS5. So,
Fair enough.
It's cool. It's cool.
So
it is what it is, bro.
Swap situation. So basically,
he don't want my Switch.
No, not that. That's what I meant.
I was about to be like, what?
I'm saying you wait for the PS5 Pro, which should be coming.
Nope, I'm good. I'm all right. I'm
just
straight.
saying, rather than you buying the regular PS5, you just buy the Pro.
I'm good. It's not that deep for me, especially considering the price is going to drop. I don't need it. And I would have to. Granted, I do want to get a better TV, but it's just not that deep for me. I can wait a couple seconds for something to download. Like it's smooth. You know what I'm saying? So
it's not just the downloads. That's why.
Oh, I know. I'm good.
But yeah, and then I think waiting for the Switch 2 is probably the best thing because that's most definitely coming out in the next few months. So don't even worry about that. Not next few months, but half a year.
Oh, yeah, I was going to be like months.
Because I'm thinking maybe March, April. So you could still wait. It's backwards compatible. You'll be fine. Don't even worry about that shit.
Like I said, it's cool. Another question I was going to ask. Now, does everybody watch Acolyte?
No, I haven't got into it yet.
I gotten into it yet. I heard good things about it. So.
I know, bro. I still need to watch Shogun.
Yeah, me too. I gotta watch.
Yeah,
Shogun
I don't have Hulu, so I always saw it as like, oh well, I ain't watching it.
You got Disney Plus though.
I do. Oh, it
If
is
you
on
have
Disney.
Disney Plus, you should
You
have
can watch it on
Hulu,
Disney
yeah.
Plus, dog.
Right. That's another one I'll watch. Then. There you go.
Yeah, I gotta watch that. So switch up the topic one more time. So I have recently saw Inside Out 2,
Okay.
and I saw Bad Boys 4.
Nice.
Nice.
So Inside Out 2, if you're not ready to look inside yourself and deal with your own emotions, don't watch the movie.
Mm-hmm. I saw
it
the
is
first one a couple weeks ago. So
yeah, same here. It is a phenomenal movie. It is it's up there. I personally feel like it is a must-see movie. Especially if you're a parent and you have kids that's right around that age. Like I almost. But it's
I would not say that's the most emotional movie that's came out recently. I will add on to it.
But not about it being emotional. It is an emotional movie for damn sure. But just once again, just you dealing with your own emotions like anxiety, like envy, it's and then just realizing certain things about those basic emotions and how complex that could be as you're getting older is definitely worth the watch. And Bad Boys 4. All right, so this is my question to you guys, real quick. 1 or 2, which one did you like better? Me personally, I like 2 better.
Same. Can't forget Reggie.
Listen,
Reggie's like such an important part of this entire Bad Boy story.
He really is.
Like Reggie,
he really
They
is.
made him larger than life, and it's great.
He's
He
literally
really
the same.
is. But so me personally, I like 2 better. But basically, what I'm gonna say is, whatever your favorite is, 4 is right there.
Yeah, that's so I heard.
Like it's fucking phenomenal.
I seen a bunch of lists that said like 2 and then 4 and then 1 and then
Yeah,
3, right?
that would be my order.
I've been seeing.
I gotta see it.
So
It's a must-see movie. Shout out to
doing the trilogy.
Sabrina. Happy anniversary, y'all. It's a big accomplishment to make it this far in the game. Many blessings to see more from you guys. Thank you, Sabrina. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Look at him getting his LL on.
Yeah, so I would say probably if you really want to see an emotional movie, I would say go see If. If was really fucking good.
I want to go see If. I want to watch that.
Very surprised. I cried watching the movie. That should tell you a lot. I don't cry. I cried watching that movie. That movie was really crazy.
Shout out to Steels. I second that. Congrats on 4 years, guys. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
We
Thank you.
appreciate you. I have also seen both Godzilla -1. Finally, y'all know I'm a huge Godzilla fan. And I've watched Godzilla vs. Kong: The New Empire.
God, that movie's so funny. Oh,
yo, -1 might be the best Godzilla movie I've ever watched.
I should not be laughing at people's deaths so much.
Oh, nah, some of them was funny as hell. Fuck them people.
The beach scene was still my most favorite part of the movie.
So can everybody just confirm that Godzilla is a fucking villain?
Whoa. Watch him out. Watch him out. We are not going to slander Godzilla on this show.
I'm not slandering him. I'm not slandering him.
Where's my atomic breath? Hold on.
Not at all. Not slandering Godzilla in any way, shape, or form.
Godzilla
I just wanted to
is
be
a
seen.
menace.
Godzilla really is like a villain. Like it just comes.
Y'all lucky I don't have a
I
pop.
want to say Godzilla just comes through, and like any movie adaptation of Godzilla just comes through, and he's literally just wrecking shit.
Because he is the man. He is the king.
I mean,
he is the greatest of all time.
How many innocent people have died because of Godzilla? Answer me that.
What? How many
innocent people have died over the years because of Godzilla?
You could go back to the Godzilla adaptation, the one they made in 2000, where Godzilla actually. It was Godzilla.
The one in New York.
Godzilla came in and ran.
We don't talk about that.
We don't want to talk about it, but it still holds. It still holds to the point that Godzilla really is a villain. He's just coming through and just wrecking shit.
First off, that was a she, and secondly,
It was. That's what I'm saying. It was a she.
he
but
was
it's
just trying to
that's why I
protect
really
her
say Godzilla's
family.
it. Godzilla
Yeah, they had
as the
babies.
being is a fucking villain. Like,
No,
Because
not a villain. Not a
Because
villain.
scientists always want to mess with freaking genes.
So then,
you
who's
wanna
the
go-
real
you wanna
villain
take it
here?
back, you can take
It's
it with
fucking
Godzilla
humans.
versus Kong. Godzilla versus Kong. Everybody was trying to say, "Oh yeah, Kong was going to whoop Godzilla."
Kong is ass.
Kong is the hero. And Kong got washed because why? Because Godzilla's the villain.
Kong is no. Godzilla won because he's the fucking greatest. Kong is a piece of shit. All right, that's
Well-
right. I said it.
Well, let's
Fuck off.
further add. Let's further add to the Godzilla is a menace situation. Let's talk about the Godzilla versus the DC Universe comics.
Oh my god, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Hilarious.
It's amazing. First off, Godzilla laid out Superman. You damn right he did.
Twice.
You damn right he did. Godzilla is the greatest, dog. The greatest monster of all time.
Like you see how Doomsday
he's
did?
an oversized. Imagine an oversized lizard is just all here, just doing an oversized radioactive lizard is literally just out here just running roughshod. And at any given minute, if he wants to just go and start breathing fire or breathing lightning and shit, it can cause you and get you cancer.
Sounds like my best friend.
Yeah.
Me and Godzilla be like that. Yo, real quick. Sabrina said also all the Pixar movies really do know how to pull on the heartstrings very well.
Very true.
Very much convinced that every Pixar writer is just writing these movies just to help us feel.
To the point that Soul was
amazing.
Zootopia for me though.
That Soul had
Zootopia was dope too.
Yeah, Soul had me over here like literally bawling tears, like I was at a funeral. I was just like, God damn! It's those Pixar movies.
Pixar is mainly like Pixar's like the teenage Disney, if that makes sense. So it's more like I'm explaining it. Where they're dealing with more adult themes, but it's more outwardly as opposed to just some of the Disney movies they have.
I can see that.
It's underlying, but the most recent stretch of Disney movies, I want to say maybe the past decade and a half, maybe 2 decades, they've been doing a lot more movies like that, where it's a lot less whimsical and a lot more of like the underlying adult themes are coming to a head.
Yeah.
So, for example, like what was the last movie I seen? Wish was
great.
Wish had a bit of an adult theme to it in a
Bella
sense.
loved that movie.
It was a really good movie.
It was phenomenal.
I seen Encanto. I still haven't seen Moana. So
what?
But
bruh. Wait, that's fine. I still haven't seen Toy Story 3 or 4.
Jeez, bro.
That's at this point on purpose.
That's more egregious. C3.
Well, three is
four
actually
was a bit.
Three is really like is really like, bro, you're really like doing it to yourself. Before you ain't missing shit. you ain't missing.
Four you didn't miss much.
Four you're not really missing.
Four was,
3 you got to see.
4 was more so like a reboot, like the start of a reboot, but it was like closing a chapter, but it was more of a reboot. We thought 3 was the reboot. 3 wasn't a reboot. 4 is the actual reboot.
Right. Tiff says Wish is so underrated, and then she
really
responds, "You haven't seen Moana? It's so good." Look, and 2's coming out, bruh.
And the live action's coming out right after that.
Yeah, the live action is sometime next year or the year after.
No, it's next year. It's next year. I think Rock said that it was next year.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go by that because they be pushing shit back. So I'm gonna say either next year or the year after because it will more than likely be one of those two.
Well, shit. What can we talk about? We got.
But -1. No, I'm telling y'all, watch that movie.
It's on Netflix. Make sure y'all go see it while it's on Netflix.
It's fucking amazing.
And Netflix
it's definitely
has the only English dub, by the way. Just letting y'all know that.
Yeah.
Godzilla
-1.
I'll watch that.
It's phenomenal. The way they portrayed Godzilla was way different.
Godzilla's a fucking menace in the movie.
Dude, Godzilla is the man. I don't understand the The disrespect. Like he
It's
did
not
nothing to y'all.
disrespectful.
Hey, Marvel,
That's with the most
We under-
utmost respect.
Hey,
Listen.
Marvel, we understand that you are a fan, or you are always gonna rock with a genocidal lizard. It's okay. We get it.
Damn right.
We ain't even contesting it.
Power to the lizard.
I will say
Damn right.
this. I've laughed at horror movies and horror movie killings, but the way Godzilla rolled up on that beach and
Yo,
killed
dog.
those people,
Bro.
I am
Yeah. We're not gonna wait. I'll say this, and it's not really ruining anything.
No, B, that's the
But-
first 10 minutes of the movie. Let
bro,
me say that.
Okay, all right. Now the first 5 minutes, if it's like that, yeah,
That's
I'll
the
watch it.
first 10 minutes
Yo,
of the movie. Not even joking.
the way they portrayed his atomic breath was the best thing I think I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah, I think
because it's so
versus
different.
Kong, I think Godzilla versus Kong has like the closest to that.
The newest
but the
one,
way
yeah.
they did it, right? But the way they did it is impeccable. I can't
Yeah.
deny.
Tiff said, I thought the live action was for 2026.
It might
Joe
be end of
said, I
2025.
don't claim him for not watching Toy Story, whatever.
Right?
And then a genocidal lizard laughed my ass.
Y'all can't. Exactly, and it's crazy how nobody answered Stretch's question when he said, "How many people have died when Godzilla showed up on the
enough.
land?"
Enough. They
To
deserved
add on
it.
to that, to add on to that, if you want an answer, Stretch, Japan had to basically rebirth their population over and over every time.
It's like didn't they have like a Godzilla protocol? And
It's not even-
Yeah, they did.
It's not even
You know what the
from
protocol was?
It's
Wait,
not
hold on.
It's not even from the fact that like he accidentally bumps into people. Just him coming up from the freaking sea is enough to kill thousands of Japanese
Bro.
people.
Stretch.
You know, he dismantles the financial district every time he goes there for whatever reason. He's not even stupid. He attacks
Stretch.
infrastructure for
Stretch.
fuck's
Let
sake.
me tell you this, bro. If that's how you feel now, watch this movie.
Watch,
Oh my god!
Because between this one, both of them,
how
between
is he a
that,
hero? Explain it to me like I'm 5. How is he a hero?
because at the end of the day, he does what he has to do.
What is that?
What does he have to do?
What does that mean?
I think that's one thing that the American movies did better was explaining what the hell Godzilla is. But Godzilla is a walking calamity, and basically anything that disrupts the nature of the world
Sounds
is for
like
him to destroy, basically.
sounds like a hero. Sounds like a good guy to me.
Yo, the only time y'all even see Godzilla even doing anything to try to think like he's helping the people is when it's just another walking calamity is trying to take his shine. And that's where he just be like, nah, I'm not doing it.
Wait, time out. Hold on.
He basically kills the other monster because he's saying, I'm working this side of the street.
Not true. Hold on. It's not true. In the past, past movies, there has been times where he has teamed with the humans, and he has that connection with humans. Also, Mothra is a big part of him being good, quote unquote. There's a lot of different reasons, bro. There's a lot of different times where Godzilla was seen as a quote unquote good guy, but raw, unadulterated Godzilla, I can't fucking wait.
So just so everybody knows, the Tokyo Protocol, the Japan Protocol for Godzilla is just move the fuck out the way. That's literally it.
That's all you can.
That's literally it.
What did you think?
Telling you every time he comes out, move, bitch, get out the way.
Literally,
I just said it. He's a genocidal lizard. He literally can breathe electricity and fire.
Right.
Reason with him.
He's a walking atomic bomb. Of course, you need to just move out the way. You can't do anything.
He sounds like the greatest of all time.
All right.
Look,
all you gotta wait. Yo, hold on. All you gotta do is put him in metal and give him missiles. Wait a minute.
Explain it to me like
and
a
a drill
five,
and a
how
drill tail.
exactly he is a hero. I want to know this. I'm not.
Break
Don't-
that one down.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I'm not up on Godzilla lore. I'm not really a fan of the movies. I think they're hokey. But listen,
Hold on, I'll get back to that. How dare you, first and foremost?
listen.
All right.
How is he helpful?
I think your wave cap
in
is
any way,
hokey.
shape, or form?
All right, don't disrespect
He is a
Godzilla.
force of nature. Tornadoes are a force
No
of
one's
nature. They kill people
disrespecting
every
him.
day.
He's just
Yeah. No, y'all are being disrespectful.
I'm not
We're literally
disrespectful.
telling you
When it comes to New York.
Look,
he's a killer.
Like a murderer. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
look, there are a
He
few
create-
absolutes in life, right? In Godzilla's case, there's no stopping him. There's no stopping him at all.
All
He's
right, but
he's
as-
the Shelton
That's
Benjamin
the
of the
taxes, right?
Monsterverse.
He is unnecessary. Death and
you literally
taxes.
have
I
to
can
just hope.
fucking, God forbid, keel over. I can go outside and get hit by a truck right now. I'd prefer that than to get killed out of my will by a freaking lizard that comes down and just destroys things out of nowhere.
You have to literally have to
Boom.
hope that he just doesn't wake up and come from the bottom of the ocean. You
Boom,
literally have to
boom,
hope he doesn't wake up.
boom,
He wakes up.
boom.
And I get it, yo. The way you cheering for Godzilla, all I'm gonna say, if Godzilla was a real thing and we were dealing with a calamity like Godzilla right now, we wouldn't be. Ain't nobody be cheering for
Hey,
this.
hey, I'd be good because he ain't coming to Jersey. He's not coming this way.
You know, that's actually a thing. You're
Right. We're good. East Coast is good.
He's
I
never
mean, the
actually,
East Coast is good.
never actually
He's
does-
been
does-
in Manhattan.
like, rural areas. He always is in like financial district or some shit.
Yeah.
He's always in,
He
always
goes
in
where the most electricity or the most radiation radiates from. So that's Manhattan. That's Tokyo. That's
No.
How you gonna tell me no?
Because Japan is right across from California. California's going first.
Who said I didn't even get to Cali yet?
Damn.
Like
Damn.
once again, he shows up in highly populated places. So it is what it is.
And just killed you.
Real quick, Sabrina said, "Can't wait for you guys. Can't wait to see you guys play Marvel's Capcom Collection. Did
They
you
don't
see the
want it.
memes for it already? Scott and Ryu back together again. No, those memes are fucking hilarious."
They don't want it.
He said they don't want it, or you don't want it.
Children of the Atom. We got Children of the Atom.
I was nice in that.
We have Marvel superheroes.
That was alright.
We have
man.
Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter. We got X-Men versus Street Fighter. We have Marvel's Capcom 1, and we have Marvel's Capcom 2.
And then the Punisher, which
And the
nobody
Punisher
cares
was to
about.
beat him up. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's just Punisher and White Nick Fury.
They should have for all of that. They should have just put the X-Men arcade game.
That
Like-
everybody was saying that though.
Like, why didn't you just do
Everybody
that?
saying
That was
that.
stupid.
Everybody was
stupid.
saying that. But they might sell that by itself. Like I feel they may
Yeah.
actually they might redo it. Just listen, hear me out.
No. Yeah, if due to
If they do
Ninja
it like
Turtles
Shredder's
and the way
Revenge,
Power Ranger, right, and the way Power Rangers is looking,
Mhm.
yeah, they absolutely should redo it.
We right here.
But
That Power Rangers game looks fucking amazing. They
yo,
need to
I
play that.
can't wait. I cannot wait. I can't wait at
I
all.
remember the arcade Power Rangers games that they had too.
You too?
I played that as well. That they definitely needed to do.
That the Genesis versions.
I had the Genesis version, funny enough.
So one game, and I know y'all probably never played it, but one I never really understood why they made it like that is how they made Dino Thunder, because the Power Rangers Dino Thunder game,
Mhm.
you only played as the three Zords.
That's weird.
Yeah,
But
that's
then
what I
again,
said.
no. But then again, do you get to actually like swap out the Zords?
Fuck if I know. I never played it.
Oh, that's weird. I get it. Like if it's a Game Boy Advance game or something, and they wanted like to do two games.
Nah, that was a console game.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that was
That's
definitely
like,
a
what,
console game.
PS2?
Fuck if I know. I don't remember. Yes, probably.
It had to be PS2 because
Yeah,
I remember
yeah,
it for PS3.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that was
weird.
that was around that era.
If it was exactly how the show is, and they got to swap out the dinosaurs and shit, like that would be perfect. But
Yeah.
just Zords alone is weird.
That's what I said. But there was one more topic I wanted to touch on. So how do you guys feel about this whole situation or hoopla involving Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and the WNBA? Because there is a
I'll be
lot.
brief.
Wait, real quick, just so I'm not into it as much. If you guys know me, I'm not too much into sports, even though now I'm getting back into some of it. But Caitlin Clark is highly regarded as one of the best players in college. Comes to her and Angel Reese both come to the WNBA. And there's been a lot of like hip checks, a lot of physicality when it comes to Caitlin. Now, here's the thing, and I just want to put this out first because y'all are more into the sports than I am. But I will say this: what I've seen from Caitlin Clark when it comes to these checks, I'll say, right, and then when it comes to Angel Reese doing the same thing, Angel kind of takes it, right, like a champ. Like she enjoys the physicality of the sport. It seems like Caitlin, I don't want to say that she flops. I don't think that's the right terminology. But I will say I don't think that she handles it. She definitely doesn't handle it like Angel does. So my question to you guys is, number one, actually, I'm going to ask y'all different things. So Q, initial question, how do you feel about both just kind of and just with the media coverage that is happening for the WNBA? Obviously there's more money getting brought into it now more than ever, even though, granted, shout out to Rodney for this info that I'm about to say, but even though they're still projected to lose a lot of money, how do you feel about everything that's going on?
I mean, the thing is with WNBA is it's not the WNBA is always going to gain and lose money every time. It's always been like that for years. They're always gaining and losing. The problem is with media, it's just the men that are covering it now. They just don't want to admit that they just have not been watching the WNBA period, because everything that you're seeing between Caitlin and Angel Reese, this has been going on in the WNBA for years. If you were paying attention. Like, this is, if you really was watching the WNBA, you watching it, you know, obviously Candace Parker was playing, you know, she just recently retired. If you were watching it, you're watching with Maya Moore. If you were watching it with, obviously you see it constantly with Aja Wilson. You already know the WNBA is, they're always going to be physical. They've always been more physical than the NBA. They don't, it's nothing to be sugarcoated. They're here to play. They play hard because they want to show, they're really here to show that, they can play just as well as the men. Obviously, you know, the men is a little bit more flashy because the men we're more flashy with the dunks and shit. But there's not nothing behind that, because when you look at it with the women they could do play just as hard as the men. They could shoot. It's with Angel. Angel has a more solid. I feel for me has a more solid game. Just as a more solid game for her as a big. She's more well rounded. Obviously. Caitlin's is always going to be like the better shooter. She's the sharp shooter, but it really doesn't. It's not even a matter of them take both can't handle the media pressure. I think it's the fan bases with their narratives. Yeah. Obviously, because everybody loved to see what Caitlin was doing while she was in college. Obviously, with you know, being obviously the now basically being labeled the greatest shooter in college basketball history. Yeah, that's a definite feat. That's a feat that can't be taken away. But you can't still try to diminish. You can't still. You have. It gets weird when a lot of these, like, the fan bases, especially her fan bases, try to, like, basically, you know, obviously there's ones that really just love her for the game, for her game, and there's obviously ones that are just those others that are just racist, that just want to be on that racial tidbits, or want to be also all just going way overboard when it comes to defending Caitlin. But I think it really also, and obviously when you look at the standings of it, it's not, obviously, you know, the Fever are on to a rough start. It's regular. That has I don't think that has anything. That has nothing to do That has nothing to do with with Caitlin Clark, and I don't think that has anything to do with she even has Aaliyah Boston on there. It has nothing to do with those two. The coverage of how it is obviously is going to gain anything because of the name that Caitlin has made for herself. Sorry, y'all, that she made for herself, and had the names that Angel has made for himself. They're always going to get. It's always going to be hot. It's always going to be prime time. It's always going to be prime time. Not even just with Angel and Caitlin. This rookie class of the WNBA period. Any of these time these rookies play, it's going to be views. People are going to tune in. But so I would say this is probably the one rookie class where it's getting the most social media coverage.
Yeah, for sure.
This is really just the media. This is just the draft class that's gotten the most media coverage in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
But I say that to say this, don't not to say don't believe the hype. Just know that this has been like this with the WNBA for years. Like they've always been playing hard. They've always been playing like this. It's always been the media, but it's just a lot of folks didn't really catch on to this shit.
I'll get to that.
Yeah, exactly. It just goes. But what else? Almost lost my train of thought. It's a matter of they're playing hard. Yeah, they're gonna play hard. It's always been that case with those two, but it's just the fan bases and also the media, the men in media, especially. They really just need to admit that they were just never watching a single WNBA game. Period. And
at least majority. Let's put it like that.
Haven't been, so now because they're seeing that it's giving them popularity, they're really just doing it for engagement, and that's what it was.
So
right. Wait, hold on, Stretch, because I got you on a specific question. I'm sorry. All right, good. Don't talk about the race. Talk about something else.
I'm going to talk about that. It's just a lot of lightning rods focusing on that one part, which I think is kind of disrespectful because you would swear that there's never been any good white women that have ever played in WNBA.
Right.
Not true.
Right.
And just like I think QS has said everything that needed to be said. Number one, this stuff happens in the men's game all the time. They're playing basketball. This is a part of the game, right? Secondly, I've talked to so many dudes that think that they can just walk onto a court with WNBA players and somehow beat them. These are still pro athletes that train every fucking day to do this. They would dog any regular dude that they can play basketball at a certain level. It's not even close. And I have to say this, as far as women's basketball is concerned, internationally, they have been way more consistent than the men. Way more consistent. The women, believe it or not, in Olympic competition alone, they have gotten the gold medal since 1992.
Yep.
They have placed first every year since 1992. The men cannot say that. The rest of the world in men's basketball is catching up. You see France with more, you look at the NBA draft that just happened. There have been more Frenchmen drafted in the first round alone this NBA draft than ever. France is catching up. Canada is getting a lot better. Lithuania has always been a basketball power. Argentina has always been a basketball power, believe it or not. There are a lot of teams that are catching up internationally to the American men. We can't say that about the women.
Right.
He hit the nail on the head as far as this draft class. This is the most social media coverage that this draft has gotten because that Angel Clark and Caitlin Clark rivalry translated over from college.
Right.
Right. And Tiff is 100% right. I'm glad that you put that up because Caitlin Clark was taunting during the tournament. And when Angel Reese's team, LSU, won the national championship, she gave it right back to her. And a lot of people
and look how that circles back to wrestling, yo.
Yeah, and a lot of that,
right.
A lot of people didn't like
and to add on to that too, let's keep it a buck. That's part of the game, and both women have said that, right?
It's part of the game.
It's part of the game to talk shit. If you're not talking shit, I don't think you're passionate enough for it. You know what I'm saying?
But it goes back.
We not even obviously in big pro ball mix or whatever, but any sport. I played baseball collegiately, and it's do you know how many times we talk shit to each other playing ball collegiately or otherwise? That's part of the game. You kill me with all this. It's so many people who have certain agendas and are using this as a lightning rod to promote whatever stupid beliefs they have about race and all that shit. Like,
it's a lot of virtue signaling.
The girl, number one, very rarely does any rookie come into a sport and just dominate like right off the rip. That usually never happens unless they're generational talent, you know. And in this case, like it's like there is an adjustment to this game on this level. There are so many. Do you know how many other national college basketball players of the year she's playing against on a daily goddamn basis? Like, she has, arguably, she could be argued she's not even the best player on her team, Caitlin Clark. Aaliyah Boston is no joke either.
Right.
So people are like, yo, why is Caitlin Clark not dominating? And I'm like, well, maybe because she's a rookie. You know, she's playing pro ball for the first time.
Talk about it.
Professionals. You know, like, it's not to say, like, you know.
Also,
you know, like,
wait, give me one sec.
Also to the judgment, just I just want to add on to what you said. I'm asking what you said, Trent. Also to the judgment, if you look at, like, obviously you're looking at the Chicago Sky, look at how much they dominate now. There, you have to go back. This is how it is with team building. There was a good point in time. The Chicago Sky was fucking sucked. They were god awful. They were a god awful franchise. But over the years, they draft pick, they pick draft picks, and they've been building up. It's the same thing also now with the Fever. Yes, you have you have Aaliyah Boston on the team, but that's it. The team is still they still need to mesh. They still have to work. They still has to build. I get it. You know, some people there's some people that will sit here and say, like, oh no, the Fever, they're not trash. Like, no, they are. They kind of are. They kind of are. They do. What really is saving the Fever is that they do have two popular players on their squad. So that's always gonna bring the revenue in. But they still need it still has to work on they still need more pieces. They still need a couple more pieces to really consider themselves as like a dominant force or as a contender, as a team contender.
And Strike, would you watching the game, would you say that this is just a type of situation where, like, rookies come in the game, they have all this hoopla and this hype behind them, and then they get checked, like, from people who are vets, people who's been in the game for a while? Would you say that this is just part of the game?
I mean, they dumbed down the NBA to a point because of physicality. So being that the WNBA has been unchecked to this degree and not even, overlooked, I would say, all this stuff, all this physicality, all of this, I would say bullying. I shouldn't say bullying, but, bullying on the court in the sense of like, hey, welcome to the league, rookie. This isn't like college ball and stuff like that. I have no issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly have no issue with it because, one, not only is she getting fouled all these times, she's dropping 30 points a game. So you're coming back to see, is she actually going to falter or is she going to continue this hot streak? And lo and behold, her getting fouled most of the game, and then her teammates, which are also basically, picking up their slack too, when they need to, you're creating a team. You're creating eyes for the league. So, a lot of people were more so upset because, Caitlin Clark being, the next white hope, I will say, for, a lot of society. That's where the negativity comes from. Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily a stain on the league because she's getting a lot of focus, but it's just, as always, just like with wrestling, it's the fans.
Yeah,
it's the people, it's the news outlets, it's the people who are making the situation bigger than what it is. Yes, she is talented. Yes, she is bringing more asses to seats. Yes, she's bringing a lot more viewers to the WNBA, but you have to respect the whole league. Not just because one person is bringing all of these eyes and all this attention, that doesn't necessarily mean or negates the fact that we had champions last year. Aja Wilson is still a fucking superstar. So you can't tell me that Caitlin Clark is much more important than Aja Wilson, which was just your damn champion. And funny enough, if I remember correctly from the article that I seen, Caitlin Clark's teammate is on the Aces from her for a college
Mhm.
team, is on the Aces, and she's whooping ass, or she's whooping feet, as Kendrick would say. So to me, it's just it's one of those things where you don't necessarily want to focus on race. Let me throw on my camera. You don't necessarily want to focus on race as a main thing, but that is exactly it. If Caitlin Clark was not white, you would not be getting this much attention about this situation.
It's crazy. It's crazy, Stryker. It's like at the end of the day, you just gotta accept these type of narratives. It causes it's controversy, and controversy does what? Bring engagement, and the engagement brings what? Dollars. This is just what it's always going to be. Like it's that type of controversy or that type of shit. That's the entertainment. It's part of the entertainment. This is their form of entertainment, and it's just like no matter what, especially on Twitter, on X, like with social media in general, with these type of discourse discussions, this is what drives the conversation. When in truth, even the women in the WNBA, they don't even want to keep talking about this no more.
Right.
Even Caitlin doesn't even want to talk about it. She just wants to play.
Exactly.
Angel just wants to play and just show y'all like, yo, you gonna give everybody their respect. But the rest of the other teams like Aja Wilson, they don't want to keep talking about this Caitlin Clark situation anymore. They don't. It's a dead issue. They don't hate.
Yep.
None of the girls hate her. They love her. They love her. It's just again, you're the rookie. Welcome to the league. Welcome to the league. Keep playing. Keep doing what you got to do. That's it. The whole goal for them. They want to end. People missing the message. They're here to play the sport they love, but they're also here to entertain. They're also here to entertain us. And as fans, we don't need to. But fans is like taking it a little bit too far, getting too personal with shit, and trying to like put their little crazy ass narratives. Like y'all personally know these people, and this is like at the same time. Because again, you don't know them. They don't know you. You shouldn't even be this invested like that with them. Just be a fan and just enjoy the game. That's all you have to do. Just be a fan and enjoy the game. All this extra shit, nah, you're doing too much.
Right. Well, look, man, there's a lot going on, but first and foremost, we want to thank everybody for watching and listening. Right now, there's 160 people watching the show, so we really appreciate you guys. We love you guys so much. Please make sure to follow everybody on their socials, to which we will get to. But once again,
and if you're on YouTube, sorry to cut you off. If you're on X, please make sure to check the YouTube side. Put a like on the video. We're not really supposed to say. Oh well.
Yes, we're not supposed to say it, but guys, just switch off. Check us out on our other platforms. Be sure to subscribe and do all of that good stuff that people ask you to do. But once again, it's the 4th year anniversary show. We appreciate you guys so much. It's really been 4 years, man. To think that we started from the pandemic to now, everybody's really come a long way. And like I said, we really can't do this not only without you guys watching and listening, but without our people, that got our backs when it comes to different podcasts, when it comes to different wrestlers, when it comes to our family and friends, but to each other. The Four Corners of Commentary wouldn't be called that if there wasn't 4 of us. So shout out to us for keep moving forward, keep pushing, and seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. But with that being said, gentlemen, as we always do, let's do what we do.
Well, as if you already know, you guys know where to follow me as on Instagram and on X as Forever Deefing. As always, I do streams of Baddies Caribbean. As of right now, it's Baddies Caribbean. I do it either. It's usually I try to do it every Sunday. I usually just do it when I get the chance to watch it now. So it's more or less when you see it, you catch it in the stories, you catch it, get the engagement up. Would also say this. I know I may be a little bit flagged at the moment because of the choice of words I used, and apparently that made me unable to go live for about a couple of days. But it doesn't really matter. Again, I will say thank you to everybody that has reached out. Everyone, obviously, yesterday it was 6-year anniversary of my grandmother passing. I would say, you know, as always, continue to rest in heavenly peace. Grandma, you already know I love you. I do appreciate the village. I appreciate all of you that did reach out or did give me send even my mom pictures of her or try to give us little memories of stories. I always will appreciate that. That does hold a special thing in my heart. But as always, you know, I do again thank y'all. Just thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for even rocking with us. Thank y'all for here. We're here with year 4, and y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Just stay tuned. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, you see it down there. You know, you can follow me on Instagram, Jador Sapio, and you can follow me on X. Is that stretch? Give me a follow. Try me on for size. A follow back. Try us on.
I don't know how to feel about that, but it's me. Sorry I wasn't on camera. I'm fucking hungry. It's me, Stryker Dragoon. You know, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all the same. YouTube at Stryker Dragoon 131. It's been a very hectic few months. I haven't really been streaming consistently, but best believe for July we'll be streaming Marvel Rivals. We'll be streaming some Beyond Good and Evil 20th anniversary edition. Excuse me. We have just a bunch of stuff coming out in July, so I will be opening up my schedule and we'll be streaming almost every night, every week. So just be on the lookout for that. If you have any requests or anything that you want to see in terms of video games for me to play, just send me a DM on X or just hit me up regularly if you have my number or anything. Just let me know what you want to see. And that's that. Year 4.
And as always, I am K Marvel, the man of 1,000 questions, also the co-host of a Different Angle podcast. You can follow me on Instagram and X at Mr. Marvel 87. Please also follow KTI Studios, the production company that will suit all of your needs. If you need a logo, hit us up. If you need a video, commercial, intro, outro, promo, let us know. At KTI Studios, and the link to the actual page will be on that bio. Also, make sure to follow A Different Angle podcast, both on Instagram and X, 88pod 2023. Also, make sure to follow the Four Corners of Commentary on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at The Council of Commentary, on TikTok at Council of Commentary, and on X at CO Commentary. And we cannot forget our partners, the CDB Network. Make sure to check them out on all your favorite streaming platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, just to name a few. Also, you got to check out Susio Boys Pod, Susio Sports, Greylax Podcast, the Aim High Podcast, Shaolin Soccer, which is coming back soon, and the CDB podcast. Also, you can also check us and 88 A Different Angle. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you guys so much. We appreciate you guys. Gentlemen, I appreciate and love you guys so much. Man, listen, it's 4 years. We've done a lot. Jobber Slam 4 is August 24th. Make sure to go to Brown Paper Bag, I believe, tickets, or make life easy. Google Jobber Slam 4. It's the first link you'll see. Trust me. All right. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. We are your Four Corners of Commentary. And we out. Peace. Stay positive.
Press on.
I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got it. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll still be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine.